Hey guys, what's up? Today it's time to delve deep into the Switch library and try to find some really cool hidden gems. So here are 10 of them for the Nintendo Switch, and let's begin! Number 10. Sai Barrier Delta. Alright, we'll start with a vertical shoot 'em up. This one belongs to a long-running series that started back in the arcade. It plays and looks like any other game of the genre, but it stands out for rewarding the player for getting closer to the enemies and bosses. The closer you get, the more experience points you get to level up your spaceship. That and several other skills like the rolling feature to make you move faster make this game pretty damn cool. Besides its totally amazing soundtrack, it has everything you need for a good shooting adventure, plus all its original extras. Number 9. Our World is Ended. I've never been much into visual novels, especially not when that's pretty much all they are, novels, 90% reading and 10% decision making. But this is one that is funny as hell and couldn't pass the opportunity to recommend it. An indie development team is trying to create a virtual reality game, but thanks to an error, they end up inside of it. Soon they start realizing something's really wrong and that they didn't end up there out of a mere error. If I'm gonna play a visual novel that's mostly just reading, I wanna read a really dark one, or at least a really funny one. Our World is Ended fits that last description easily. Number 8. Revenge of the Bird King. This retro-looking side-scroller combines platforming and some good old run and gun. It's pretty much a silly Metroidvania, but one that plays very nice with some unique ideas. For example, you can use different types of guns, most of them with limited ammo, and a trusty knife for close combat. Thing is, you plant and grow these guns. Yeah, makes no sense, but it's fun. I only included this game on the list for 2 reasons. 1, to make you laugh, and 2, to show you how sometimes the silliest and simplest games can actually be very fun to play. Number 7. Legrand Legacy. This is a turn-based RPG developed by indie studio Semisoft. Right in the middle of a civil war, an amnesiac protagonist with strange powers named Finn travels the land. His quest is to recover his memory and understand his powers, though he ends up being caught up in the war. For an indie game, this has great graphics, neat character design, and good interface. The battle system plays in turns but with a touch of quick time. You need to press the right button at the right time to make your attacks work better. Because of this feature, this game has been compared a lot to The Legend of Dragoon. Check this one out if you can, it's often on sale and it's pretty damn decent. Number 6. Transistor. Transistor is a pretty unique game developed by the same company who made Bastion and Hades. You play as Red and her talking sword, who will narrate the entire adventure. You know and understand nothing of them and their situation, but little by little you will start to comprehend what the hell is going on. The game plays in an isometric view, with Red fighting against several types of robotic enemies. Abilities are assigned to each button and you'll learn several of them. This plays a major role here because instead of losing a life, whenever you die, you'll temporarily lose one of these abilities. Lose all 4 that you assigned for the battle and the game will be over. Battles are real time, but you can freeze the game to strategically plan the order of your attacks and the positioning of your character. It takes a while to get used to this battle system, but the game's fairly balanced, so it's not that bad. Number 5. Dragon Marked for Death. It's a 2D action RPG where you select from 6 different class characters, although 2 of them are only DLC. Everyone controls very differently and some even make the game harder, like the Magician for example. It's a quest-driven game where you'll basically have to complete quests in order to reach your destination and exact your revenge. This game was developed by Inti Creates, developers of the Mega Man Zero games and Azure Striker Gunvolt. so it plays and controls quite similar to those games. It also has a multiplayer experience, and that's where the game truly shines. Playing this with a friend or two or by yourself is still pretty rewarding. Number 4. 99 Vidas. I want to talk about this game for a while. It's available pretty much everywhere nowadays, but I played it on the Switch. It's a 2D beat 'em up developed by an indie studio from Brazil called Cubite Interactive. I don't know much about Brazil, but if you play the game, you'll get a lot of vibes of how life was over there during the early 90s. I believe that was the intention of the developers when creating this game, and it plays very well with some funny and cool ideas and excellent controls. Several versions of this game have both a local and online multiplayer. Up to 4 players can join simultaneously. This is a great indie game and a must play if you like beat 'em ups. Number 3. Chicando. This is a vertical bullet hell that can be played with 2 players, each controlling one of the 2 main heroines. Controls, music and interface are great, but what really stands out here is the art. It's very based on ancient Japanese folklore, but of course combining a lot of bizarre stuff and enemy design. The challenge is up there, but you can select the difficulty if you want to. It's also good to know that this game was released on several different platforms, including the PS Vita, and still, like many shoot 'em ups out there, it never reached the mainstream. Give it a try if you can, this game is badass. Number 2. Knights of Azure 2. This is a great hack and slash action RPG on both the PS4 and the Switch. Starring a lesbian character who's turned into some kind of vampire thanks to a curse. Nothing she can do about that, so instead, she'll focus on taking down an evil witch with her friends. The game is inspired by the old Gothic architecture, and it clearly shows on several areas. Controls are superb here, the action is really fast-paced and responsive. You can only take one of your female love interests to fight with you, and 2 extra creatures you can recruit and train during your travels. If you don't mind the fan service, this is a great game that I strongly recommend, and no, you don't need to play the first one to understand this one. Number 1. Blade Strangers. This is a crossover fighting game that features characters from Cave Story, Shovel Knight, Code of Princess and other games. It plays on 2D with great graphics and excellent controls. It's one of those where you can rely on combos if you want to, but also with supers and special attacks, a neat combination of technical moves and button mashing. It didn't make a lot of noise because most of the games involved aren't really that popular, with the exception of Shovel Knight of course. Had this game been advertised properly, it would have done much better because it's honestly really good. Alright guys, those were my picks for today's video. The Switch is pretty much a hidden gems machine, so I'll probably see you in part 2 one day. It was also very interesting to see how many indie games are there nowadays, and the Switch is a really good home for a lot of them. Of course, you can't deny the PlayStation 4 is also up there when it comes to indie games as a good home for them, but the Switch doesn't stay behind at all, man. And before you click away, I just want to thank you for watching this second channel. If you don't know, my first channel is called Erick Landon RPG. I mostly focus on JRPGs over there, but in here, it's all about games from different genres. So once again, thank you very much for your constant support, it means a lot to me. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. See you next time!